here at Rage in Accra Live on DSTV channel 277. I am Bright Nana Kwesi. I'm coming up in the next 30 minutes. As third wave of COVID-19 enters full swing across Ghana, President Akufo-Addo and health professionals admonish Ghanaians to take strong personal responsibility in protecting themselves against the deadly virus. Ahead of the mid-year budget review by the Finance Minister on Thursday, the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) holds a policy dialogue on the economy. The Greater Accra Regional Security Coordinating Council, led by the Regional Minister Henry Korte, embarks on a decongestion exercise in the Yawasu Central Municipality. Thanks for joining us. And now, as at Friday, 23rd July 2021, the COVID-19 active case count stood at 4,521, with a daily infection rate of 350 cases and a cumulative death toll of deaths at 823. This is according to President Nana Akufo-Addo on his 26th address to the nation on COVID-19 update. He said the surge in the number of COVID-19 cases is as a result of non-adherence to COVID-19 protocols.
Indeed, in update number 25, the last date I rendered on 16th May, our total active case count stood at 1,314, with our daily infection rate standing at 100. 1,121,168 tests had been conducted, of which 92,460 persons had been infected. 91,146 persons had recovered, with a total of 783 deaths. Since that update, the situation improved significantly, whereby in June, our active cases stood at some 1,200. Our daily infection rate fell to 50 cases and recorded 10 deaths in the whole of the month. However, in recent weeks, we've seen a marked increase in the number of cases. As of Friday, 23rd July 2021, 3 weeks later, the Ghana Health Service is now reporting that our total number of active cases stands at 4,521. A total of 1,406,011 tests have been conducted, out of which 102,103 persons have been infected with the virus and 96,759 persons have recovered. Our daily infection rate for the past week is 350 cases, and sadly, 40 more people have died from COVID-19 over the last 10 weeks, bringing the cumulative number of deaths to 823 deaths since the onset of the pandemic. Greater Accra and Greater Kumasi metropolitan areas remain the hotspots of infections. This entire development is very alarming. Fellow Ghanaians, it is obvious from the data that we've let our guard down, with many going about their daily duties in clear breach of and disregard for the protocols.
Let's now talk about some COVID-19 restrictions, and as part of measures to reduce the spread of the coronavirus in the country, President Akufo-Addo has announced that all social gatherings, events, especially weddings and funerals, must be limited to 2 hours.
Anyone found to be flouting this directive will have him or herself to blame. We cannot afford anyone's recklessness to endanger the lives of the majority of persons in the country. The COVID-19 task force, which I chair, has recommended that a second look be taken of the protocols that have been put in place for social and public gatherings, in particular weddings and funerals across the country. I have in previous updates emphasized the need for the strict observance of safety protocols at all such gatherings. To ensure that such gatherings do not become the sources of infections, the following must be adhered to by all at these gatherings. Firstly, the wearing of masks continues to be mandatory, and persons must respect the enhanced hygiene protocols. Secondly, all such events must be held in open-air spaces. Thirdly, the duration of such events is limited to 2 hours. Fourthly, there must be observance of the 1 meter social distancing rule. And fifthly, handshakes must be avoided. Furthermore, given that people sitting together to eat, drink, laugh, dance, and talk in large gatherings without masks are the riskiest activities for spreading the virus, all post-event receptions, particularly related to weddings and funerals, are banned. I want to reiterate the protocols surrounding activities in churches and mosques remain the same as our protocols in schools. With workplaces currently witnessing a resurgence in COVID-19 infections, it is important that owners and management of businesses and workplaces implement strictly the guidelines on staff management and workplace protocols, such as the use of a shift system and technology, mask wearing, social distancing, and hygiene protocols, as was required in the earlier days of the pandemic.
So let's still stay on COVID-19, and an immunologist of the Noguchi Memorial Institute, Dr. Kojo Asamoah, has reiterated the need for full compliance to the COVID-19 protocols as it is an effective measure to address the pandemic. He spoke exclusively on Metro TV's Newsnight.
Trends of increasing danger associated with COVID now. In respect of the fact that we are having an increase in the number of cases that are being reported, and the few samples that have been sequenced also are showing an increasing proportion of these infections being the Delta variant. There are two things. Either you are doing the prevention protocols, which include the hand washing, the nose mask wearing, and all the other protocols, or you are vaccinating. And I mean, vaccines, we all know, are in short supply currently, and therefore I think the best option now is to enforce the protocols so that we do not have outbursts of this in our population.
So still on COVID-19, some Ghanaians have attributed a rise in COVID-19 cases to leaders' failure to enforce and adhere to the protocols. They have therefore called for individuals to take charge of their safety. They have been speaking to my colleague, Alberta Bisiu.
People who don't understand our leaders, they are not telling us the truth about the COVID. For example, Sir John funeral, we all saw what happened in the funeral. Recently, LWAC, they said they are doing soldiers enlistment or whatever. We all see what happened for them. So if our leaders, they are telling us the truth, then we too will take it serious.
We have to be exercise patient to him because the pressure is too much. You see, it's not about him. It's about the whole nation, you see. So what, to me, we shouldn't rush because he has done his best. To me, it's about us, we Ghanaians. We have to change our mindset because if you got the COVID, president is not going to do anything for you. You are going to suffer. So protect yourself and do the right thing.
I believe we should start from the top, because when you go to gatherings, you see our leaders. Most of our leaders don't care. Like, they don't like using the mask. So I believe it should start from the top and then we'll follow.
The president was there. He went to funerals and there were people who were crowded over there.
Exactly so. So make sure you are adhering to all the protocols: washing of hands, social distancing, and wearing of the nose masks. You are still watching it Flash here on Metro TV. We'll be back from the break with more.
License AC, it will gold-plated things. Yeah, the copper pipes, papa binaye. Gas ya, and for how biam rodas and ibia, and a goom. And yet the day, Tansu of 4-in-1 filter system. 80 from a free mubano. Aye, croji. AC, yeah, the horsepower neto. License kasa aye 2.5. Aye 2.5. Kululu pia. Yet ya BMO, a high sense SC super promo. Date in year 26 July, Akobim 8 August 2021. Upe Asia F, na chili, na power. A high sense SC. Comfort to me. 26 July, Akobim 8 August. Madam High Sense, Matiti Suso, who? 5 years warranty. And that's what we are. High Sense and Kwan to me, yes, I'm out. High Sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Welcome back. And now, a professor of history from the United States of America with Ghanaian heritage, Professor Rahel Engman, has begun an archaeological excavation of the Christiansborg Castle in Osu, Accra, as part of a plan to create a thorough and more objective narrative of Ghanaian history. Now, the project is funded by the French Embassy in Ghana.
I had always grown up as a child, my surname is Engman, knowing that the first Engman was Danish and that he came to the coast. He was in fact a governor, and he was a governor during the height of the Danish transatlantic slave trade. Carl Gustav Engman married Ashokai. Ashokai was the daughter of one of the chiefs. So what I've done with this particular kind of project that I'm calling auto-archaeology, because it's archaeological, but it also draws upon autobiography. We have approximately 180,000 artifacts, and as you can see, we have the foundations of houses and walls. So if you can imagine, this, what you see behind me, started as a 1 meter by 1 meter test pit. So what we did was we surveyed the whole castle grounds. We found areas where there were clusters of artifacts on the surface. So we found a cluster of artifacts, so we said, okay, this is where we're going to dig. So we dug, and we dug, and we dug, and we've been doing this, not last year because of COVID, but every year we come and we dig and we continue. When we're not here, we cover. You can see we've got the walls of houses. We've got an area over here which is a kitchen. And right now we're in the 18th century. We will keep digging until nothing else comes up. And so as you can see over here, we have what was a kitchen area to the 18th century. How do we know? Not because I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, because I don't, but I can identify a kitchen area. We have 3 stones. If you were to go to many areas in Ghana today, you would see cooking pots, right, with 3 stones with a pot on top. We found the charcoal. So we took the charcoal to be dated. So we know the charcoal dates back to the 18th century. And we're trying to do a revisionist history. Because if we were to write a history of Ghana or the Ga people based on Danish or any other European colonial account, as you can imagine, it would be quite biased. So what we do is we still have those records, but we put it together with what we're finding in the ground. That's how we believe we are rewriting our history.
Writing history right there. Away from that, water, healthcare and public toilet are unavoidable options for health and sanitation in many low-income towns and cities of developing countries like Ghana. However, towns and communities like Sinchi and Logo in the Wassa East District of the Western region cannot boast of a public toilet or potable water. There is more in the following report filed by Shadrach Odame Ejari.
The Wassa East constituency and district, according to the 2021 Population and Housing Census, has a population of 81,073, accounting for about 3.4% of the Western region's population. The Wassa East constituency has communities like Sachi, Donko, Ekutuase and Drenase. Members in communities in the Wassa East constituency are predominantly farmers, with majority involved in the local production of what is seemingly a chewing sponge or brush known in Akan as sari. Residents bemoaned how the lack of social amenities like a health center, toilet facilities and potable water is making life unbearable.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I have joined. Oh yeah, I did.
I know any toilet back on now. Nature said no can a buying a Debbie, a binding a man. Only Yankasa, you will claim nine. Saturday, no crime, make a nuclear, see, and I circular into pay a flyer question and can't come on a. Just say, and you're not busy, and I say, penny clamp on us, one should be able to me.
So be a she say I didn't to motor so quite to be and son, Torret to cross Africa fire and said in Torret Papa Bia in Suso Bacopa now, Nimbonus autumn or autumn, oh mana, what to, Uncle baby, on my aunt, Yin soon.
I pharmacy, a Quadrian,
I fear me.
Quadrian, Ono Pama, a Jumabia in home.
I decided to visit other farming communities in the constituency to assess the level of development. After about 5 minutes walk, it was obvious my journey won't be possible. Kojo and Hannah narrated how authorities have turned a blind eye to the collapsed bridge connecting Sanchi and communities like Ologo and Ochimbesa. This, they say, has made it impossible for members of such communities to visit nearby towns to ply their trade. Reporting for Metro News from the Wassa East constituency in the Western region, Shadrach Odame Ejari.
Quite disturbing conditions there. Away from that, now please be advised that sections of the following report may be found disturbing. Now, residents of Aitikope in the Akachi South municipality of the Water region are yet to recover from the shock and barbaric manner in which Apostle Augustine Bibidima, founder and leader of the Harmony with Jesus Ministry International, and his wife lost their lives. Now, their bodies, which were discovered in an advanced state of decomposition and in pools of blood, had visible machete wounds.
The body of the deceased pastor was lying outside their room, while his wife was lying in a supine position in the sitting room. The bodies were discovered in their private residence at Aitikope, a farming community within Akachi South, on Saturday morning after calls to their mobile phones returned unanswered. George Bedima, an elder of the church and a nephew of Pastor Bedima, disclosed to the media that his uncle was in his 70s, while his wife was in her late 50s. They were last seen in public about 4 or 5 days ago. The pastor, however, held a service on Sunday while his nephew spoke to him the next day. Meanwhile, Chief Superintendent Joseph Achu Jineku, the Akachi South Municipal Commander of Police, has since confirmed the tragedy to the media. He said his outfit was yet to conduct investigations into the bizarre act as efforts were underway to convey the bodies to the morgue for preservation and autopsy. The couple left behind a
heartrending there. Let's now take a look at some stories in the world of business. And first, Ghana's total public debt stock has increased by almost 30 billion Ghana cedi in April and May to 332.4 billion Ghana cedi, accounting to 76.6% of GDP, according to data from the Bank of Ghana.
In the past year, slightly higher than the debt-to-GDP ratio of 76.1% recorded at the end of 2020, according to data from the central bank. The external debt component as of the end of May 2021 made up 37.2% of the total value of the economy, which is projected to be about 434 billion Ghana cedis for 2021. Ghana's domestic debt also rose by about 7 billion Ghana cedis, bringing total domestic debt to 170.8 billion Ghana cedis at the end of May this year, from the 163.6 billion Ghana cedis recorded at the end of March this year. The domestic component of the total public debt contains the Financial Sector Resolution Bond, which was 15.2 billion Ghana cedis at the end of May 2021.
Let's stay with Ghana's debt stock, and joining us via Zoom is Emmanuel Dakwa, who is an economic analyst. Good morning and welcome to NEWSFLASH, sir. So great to have you. Now, the Bank of Ghana's latest report indicates that the country's debt stock rose by almost 30 billion Ghana cedi May and April this year to 334.2 billion in total, amounting to 76.6% of GDP. Now, what does this mean for the Ghanaian economy? Great. We are going to try and sort out the technology problem there and get back online and speak to the economists. We want to find out what exactly the growth in Ghana's debt stock really means and how it affects the economy. We'll be back from this break with more here on NEWSFLASH. Don't go nowhere.
We are one man short. Should we invite him?
Yeah.
It be old cargo.
Can I join you guys?
Yeah.
Always drink fresh, natural mix, mineral water.
Still got it. Always keep hydrated naturally. That's my secret.
Manufactured with the primary aim of preserving nature's finest minerals necessary for a healthy mind and body. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back. I'm going to give you more of the business stories when we come back at 12 with Newsbeat. But for now, let's turn our focus to the International Front, and kidnappers who raided a boarding school in northern Nigeria earlier this month released 28 children on Sunday, July 25, but another 81 remain in captivity. According to a pastor involved in the negotiations for their release, the attack on the Bethel Baptist High School in the state of Kaduna was the 10th mass school kidnapping since December in northwest Nigeria, carried out by Islamist militant and more recently criminal gangs. So that's it for NEWSFLASH Live on Metro TV. I am Bryce Nanakwesi Amini. The news is back at 12 with more. Good morning.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.